Good morning, everyone. Welcome to a very special course referred by UGC University Grant Commission for MPhil and PhD scholars. The title of the course is Research and Publication Ethics. I hope you all are aware of that recently University Grant Commission has given a guidelines to all universities that those who are attending MPhil program and PhD program, they supposed to attend this kind of classes, this particular course, and this course name is Research and Publication Ethics. Before we discuss the syllabus, before we discuss how many units, what are the contents of this syllabus, let me show you first the guidelines provided by UGC. And what UGC says, here we can see the letter December 2019. Uh, Here it's clearly mentioned, you can see in this letter that respected Sir and Madam University Grant Commission in this meeting held on 9th of August 2019 approved 2 credit courses for awareness about publication and ethics and publication misconduct. So the title of the course is Research and Publication Ethics. And very important thing you can note down, you can see over here that it is compulsory for all those, even if you are exempted from your coursework, but it's mandatory for all, even for those who are exempted from any kind of coursework. So it's mandatory for all MPhil and PhD scholars. And here you can see it's a 2 credit, so approximately you would be needed to 2 credit means 30 hours course, right? So we'll having every day 2 hours, so we'll be able to finish this within, I believe, 15 days. So what we have done, we have divided all units, all 6 units, and let me show you all 6 units before we proceed further. Here you can see about the course. This course has total 6 units focusing on basics of philosophy of science and ethics, research integrity, publication ethics. Hands-on sessions are designed to identify research misconduct and predatory publications. Indexing and citation database, open access publication, research metrics, it's about citation, H-index, impact factor, etc. And plagiarism tools will be introduced in this course. And the teaching pedagogy would be here is clearly mentioned: classroom teaching, guest lecture, group discussion, and practical session. And then finally you will have exam also, and that would be a kind of continuous assessment, right? Here we can see, and here we have course structure, as we already have discussed that there would be 6 units. So first unit would be philosophy and ethics, where you can see that when we think of MPhil or PhD, it's a doctorate of philosophy, it's a master of philosophy. So what is this philosophy, and what is the link of ethics with the philosophy? And philosophy, I mean, it's very wider concept, very wider construct. Similarly, if you think of ethics, it's also a very wider kind of construct. So it has been assigned 4 hours of teaching, then scientific conduct, because when you think of your research, when you think of your research work, it should be have some kind of scientific way of conducting our research, so that it would have acceptability. You send your paper to any journal in the world. If you have used a scientific way of conducting a research, finding out how to select a topic, go through a rigorous process of selecting tools and techniques, so there is a particular scientific way. If you have adopted that, then definitely no one can stop you to get your paper published in an international journal. And then when we think of a publication ethics, here you can see it has been assigned 7 teaching hours. It's about when you send your paper for publication, which journal would be a right kind of journal, right? How to select, will it be on the basis of impact factor or on the basis of H index, G index, I10 index, or should it be a journal which is available in open access? So that we need to check that how to see the credential of a particular publication or a particular journal. So what kind of ethics we need to follow, or if you think of a particular publishing house or a journal, what kind of message, what kind of instructions they have given to you before you send your paper. Then here you can see beside theory we have a practice also. For that also we have a teaching hour. uh, Something is called free access publishing, something is called open access publishing. So we need to define these terms, because when you send your paper for publication and your publisher is asking money as a registration fees or a publication fee, then is how will you justify, how will they justify why they are charging? Because you have put a lot of efforts, you have taken already a lot of pain, and if your project, your research work is sponsored, that means it comes from government, and when you are sending it for publication, that when money will go to publisher, and then publisher, once they have published your article or research paper, then they ask for money from the subscribers. So who gonna get benefit out of this? So why money is involved in this? So that we will discuss about. And then it would be, reflect on publication misconduct. What kind of publication misconduct we have, why people are charging huge amount, what is predatory journals. So that all we will talk about. And finally we will talk about databases, we will talk about Web of Science, Scopus, these kind of different open access or databases. And then a research matrix which will really help us to identify which journal is a right kind of journal, will have a good quality, so that we will be able to search, or will be able to find out on the basis of a research matrix. Research matrix is all about, you might have noticed before you send your paper for publication, they mention impact factor. So what is that impact factor, how to calculate that? And as far as your personal article or you yourself what you call credential is concerned, will it be linked with impact factor, or you should have your own kind of recognition that would be reflected through H index, I10 index, or a G index. So we will talk about that, how it's gonna help you. And before you enter into research publication, before you enter into research, what are the various platform available where you should register yourself and get some kind of ID, which will really help you. Because what happens once you send your paper for publication and the publisher has published, what is your next goal? Your next goal would be maximum citation. So research metrics will talk about that particular citation and impact factor and so on and so forth. So here you can see I am giving here syllabus in detail: philosophy and ethics, introduction to philosophy, definition, nature and scope, concept, branches, ethics, definition, moral philosophy, nature of moral judgment and reactions. And then we will talk about second unit, scientific conduct, ethics with respect to science and research, intellectual honesty and research integrity, scientific misconduct, falsification, fabrication, plagiarism, then redundant publication, duplicate and overlapping publication, slicing, selecting, reporting and misrepresentation of data. Then we have third unit, publication ethics definition, introduction and importance. Then we'll talk about best practices, standards setting, initiatives and guidelines, and that would be COPE. And then WAME, COPE is linked with social science, WAME is linked with medical science and sciences. Then we'll talk about conflict of interest, then publication misconduct, definition, concept, problem that lead to unethical behavior, and vice versa, and types. Then violation of publication ethics, authorship and contributionship, identification of publication misconduct, complaints and appeals. And then, as we have discussed, that a lot of journals, you might have noticed, they ask for money before they publish your paper. Can we rely upon these kind of journal, or whether these are books or predatory journals? So we'll talk about that. And then we have a OpenX publishing, because now uh, you just think of a review of literature. You're not supposed to visit library and see each and every journal. Now everything is available online, but really, can you access this information? Can you really access this journals? Because when you ask for when you want to see a particular research paper, they ask money for subscribing that particular article and journal. So there has been a lot of issue. Even Harvard has stopped buying this subscription, because they had to incur a very huge amount on subscription. So it's a matter of concern. So we'll talk about open access publishing. And in open access publication, we have Sherpa Romeo online resources to check publisher copyright and self-archiving policy. So once you have sent your paper for publication, can you use it, and can you send it to others for referring your paper, or can you put it in some local or your institutional depository? So these are matter of concern that we'll talk about Sherpa and Romeo. Then we'll talk about a lot of other software to identify predatory publication developed by SPPU and other platform. Then we'll find out on what basis we can go ahead and select a journal, right? What things we need to check before you send your paper for publication. So journal suggestions. So here you can see Elsevier, Journal Finder, Springer, Journal Suggestions, etc. So that we will cover in our discussion. Then we have a fifth unit. In this fifth unit, we'll talk about publication misconduct. So here we would have kind of discussion that and that would be linked with your specific subject. What kind of challenges you see when you think of publication or writing article, research paper? What kind of conflict you might have noticed? That conflict could be linked with the other authors who are the part of your research, right? Your supervisor, your institution, your all possible stakeholders are part of this particular topic, which calls conflict of interest. And then if you see there is any issue with your paper, you see there is any issue with any plagiarism, or any issue of anything which you feel, then where you need to complain, where need to go for appeal. So there may be examples from India, fraud from India and abroad. So if that is the issue, then where you need to find complaint and where need to go for appeal. Very important thing, because now plagiarism has become buzzword. How to take care of that plagiarism? I mean, I'm not saying that you need to have some tools which can help you to minimize it, but you need to check your plagiarism with the help of Orkun software, which has been recommended by UGC and the universities in India. And if you think of international journals, international publishing house, they use Turnitin, right? So that is the two software we're gonna discuss in future. Final, we have databases and research metrics, and in this we'll talk about different databases. So we have Scopus, you have Web of Science. So similarly we have other also, and you may have your own depository, you may have your own database. So that we'll talk about. A lot of institutions in European country, in US and other countries, University sometimes they develop a depository, right? And then what happens when you have a paper in a particular journal, you can take permission from that journal to publish your or keep one copy of your paper in your directory or your repository. And then when we talk about research metrics, as we have discussed, we all are concerned about our journal. In our journal, we must be concerned about impact factors. So this impact factor would be about journal. What about individual? How to see the credential of a particular paper? How to see the credential of a particular individual as far as their research paper or research article is concerned? So that we will talk about. So that would be about H index, G index, and I10 index. Now, beyond this, journals and what you call uh, research books and journals. Now we have social media, which play a very important role, because there might be a incident where your paper has been discussed in a particular news channel. Maybe there could be other sources of digital marketing channels where people have been talking about your research work or outcome or output of your research. So that also now has been counted under research metrics. We call it alt matrices. So that we will discuss. And finally, here you can see the references. So we have Philosophy of Science by Ebert, A Short History of Ethics, Ethics in Competitive Research, Do Not Get Scooped, Do Not Get Plagiarized by P. Chadha. So these are the different references for further discussion. So guys, welcome, and we will be discussing a lot about this. And here you have seen everything as University Grant Commission has mentioned that we should proceed further with our this new paper which we call research and publication ethics. And here you can see uh, research and publication ethics. We will talk about what is research, and we will talk about collection of data. It would be all about research. We'll talk about what is research ethics. Ethics was in 4 areas that we will discuss. History we will talk about in next session. And here, before we go to next session, this is the syllabus we will be discussing. So, thank you very much for joining. This is it's a kind of introduction. And in next session, we're gonna discuss in detail about research ethics. Then we'll focus on philosophy and ethics, scientific conduct, publication and ethics, open access publication, publication misconduct, and finally we will talking about database and research metrics. So I'm Dr. Pushpendra Kumar. Welcome you all to this very special series of lectures on research and publication ethics. So we'll continue in next session, and this was just a kind of introduction about this particular subject which is being introduced by University Grant Commission, and we already have discussed it's a mandatory now for all students, those who are in MPhil program or a PhD program. So thank you very much once again for joining us, and we'll continue with second session, and that would be on research ethics. So thank you very much, and what should I say? We'll continue. Thank you very much. Take care. Bye.